Hi, friends. It says I'm live. I'm live. I welcome to this Thursday in June, our monthly live stream. I am so excited to chat with you guys again. It feels like it's been a really long time, and I just wanted to do another live stream. I am trying to do a live stream once a month, if you guys don't know, and I'm just trying to have a conversation with you because sometimes talking through comments or through Instagram doesn't really come across as really personable and really doesn't really come across in a way that I would like. So I like connecting with everyone here, you guys here. And it's been really fun. I've really, really enjoyed doing that. I'm also looking at myself because I just downed Chick-fil-A for dinner on my way back from getting my haircut and colored. So I put out some things a couple days ago on Instagram of ask me anything. So this is basically an open-ended thing where if you guys have questions, you can ask them in the comments. I will get to those, obviously if they're appropriate. And then I have questions that people ask on Instagram that we can go through. Also, I did want to point out and kind of address something very quickly that happened today that is devastating here in Charlotte. Price's Chicken Coop is closing after 60 years, 59 years of being open in Charlotte. And it is the best fried chicken. And they are closing on Saturday for good, which is unfortunate because I know the prices. And it was a staple in Charlotte. Christina, go tomorrow. Take whoever you're with, get some cash, go tomorrow, stand in whatever long line they have because I'm sure it will be long to get a final chicken and mac and cheese or something because there's nothing like prices and I'm really sad about it, but it is what it is. So that's, it's sad here in Charlotte. There's a lot of articles, all the news covered it. All the Charlotte, the big newspaper covered it. All the local news channels were there with the long line, everyone saying goodbye, getting their final last meal. And it's just a sad time. So I wanted to get that sadness out of the way first because we're trying to have fun. You know what I mean? Even though fried chicken is a fun time. I had some questions asked on Instagram. And again, if you guys have questions, ask them in the comments because I will answer them. But I do want to keep this live stream right at an hour just because I'm very tired. And even though I love you guys and would like to spend time with you, I think we all agree that I'm an old lady and that I need my sleep. So I am going to spend a beautiful hour with you guys and we're going to have a chat. So let's see. Let me get to my questions. I have them pulled up on my phone here. So it looks like I'm not looking at anything. Let me find some questions here that I screenshotted for everyone. Okay. Okay, so a couple of people asked me about previous jobs I have had and which one was my favorite one. I've actually had a lot of jobs. So I started working legally at the age of 14 when I was in high school, obviously, going into high school. I worked at Chick-fil-A for 2 years. And then I started working at Five Guys at the same time. They opened up, I think one of the first Five Guys in Charlotte. And I started working at that location. And I worked there at the same time as Chick-fil-A, which I guess is kind of scandalous because chicken versus beef. Oh, sorry. My phone fell. Chicken versus beef, but I showed up. And I do have so many Chick-fil-A stories. What a bless. And cheers to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is not that good. That's my opinion. It's just a quick thing that exists near my house. I don't find it but I also understand a draw of it. If you don't live here and you don't have access to a Chick-fil-A all the time, I get it. I see you. So people ask me what my worst job was that I've ever had, and people ask me what my favorite job I've ever had was. My favorite job that I have is the one I'm doing now, which is filming travel and hanging out. That's making things and creating things is one of my favorite things of all time. And that's my favorite job. But my least favorite job, I worked at a bagel shop for about 6 months, and it was just not a good time. I got free bagels, which was nice. I learned how to cook on a flat top, which was lovely. But the management there, regardless of how delicious the food was, um, wasn't like physically an okay job. One of them is in prison now, so still a functioning location, but it is what it is. Food is great. So under new management, it is fantastic. And yeah, but I started working at the bagel shop and Harris Teeter, which is a grocery store here in North Carolina. And then I got, and then I was babysitting and like nannying during all those times. And I also worked, okay, so from Harris Teeter, I got a sales job at a pest control company, which was the worst. And then 7 years ago, in 2 weeks, I started working the job I am now, which is in insurance. And it is, my full-time job is insurance, but the job that I tell people that I have is the one that I'm creating and traveling and discovering more about me as a person and more about the world we live in. That is the job that I love the most. Someone asked me, who is my favorite Hyde member and why is it JP? See, I feel like the person who asked this should know that my favorite Hyde member is JP. He's my best friend, or one of my best friends. And my second favorite is Amanda because I love her. And Mike is just there. You know what I mean? But again, if you guys don't know the Hydeland Adventures, Mike and Amanda Hyde, they're fantastic human beings, and you should definitely go check them out because they rebranded, they did a bunch of cool stuff, and now they're like exploring outside of the theme parks in Florida and like doing like Florida stuff, which is really dope. So go check them out. The Hydeland Adventures, HYDE, Hyde. But JP is the best. And he's one of my favorite children. Christina's children are my favorite children. I love them to death. But let's see. So many questions to like consolidate. Someone asked me what's my number one goal at the moment. My number one goal is to keep pumping out videos. Technically, this past week, I didn't actually come out with my scheduled video of the Oahu food tour, which I will now have to film this weekend, which is fine. And I will have to edit it and put it up for next week. And I love them. I miss them very much. The goal is to keep pumping out videos because I didn't feel good this past weekend. I had a migraine for actually a whole week, which was terrible. And so I didn't film this weekend because I was kind of still recovering from that situation. And so I didn't have that. So now I had to push back my whole schedule to give you guys that Oahu food tour, but I want you guys to have it because I think it's so valuable. And so fun to make too and talk about food. Why not? So it's that, but just to keep staying intentional, and that's what in all aspects of life, intentional with my relationships, personal relationships, my intentionality with creation, with the next step in life, with my career, being intentional with the food choices I make. Obviously, I didn't make a good one for dinner, but you win some, you lose some. Just gotta keep going and do better next time. Hi, Kimmy and Kari. So I think my number one goal is very vague, is to be more intentional, and to keep pumping content out and to do what I can to help you guys and take you along with my experiences and to help you get inspired to travel yourselves and to do something maybe that was outside of your comfort zone, like sit alone at a restaurant and eat a full service meal with yourself, because that happened, which you will see coming up for St. Augustine. It was a really short but interesting trip, and I can't wait to show you guys kind of what it conspired into, because it wasn't as I planned. hot or cold was a question that I got. And I want you guys in the comments, whoever is there, to guess which would I pick, hot or cold. I'm assuming temperature. Sorry, I got my hair cut and it's like still coming out. Hot or cold, which one would I prefer? Because off the bat, I don't even have to think about it. I have a very distinct time with weather. So I would like to know what you guys think. While we're waiting on that, take a sip. And someone asked, if you can only travel ever to one place, again, I guess forever, the same place, where is it? And that is a very hard question because I could go vague. Christina, ding ding. I would 100% live in Alaska, and I do prefer cold. I don't like being hot. I don't like summer clothes. I think they're not flattering on me. I prefer hoodies and jeans and like no humidity. I also enjoy. So I don't like the cold is for me. And it's also better for my body because I do have like an inflammation issue and a back issue. So like if you really get down to it, cold is better because cold reduces inflammation. And it makes me feel better and feel energized to be cold. I take cold showers. I just do. It feels nice. Hot isn't really for me. I'll take a hot bath if I'm in pain, but I then end it with a cold shower because it feels better to do that. And I do cryotherapy. I do a lot of cold stuff. I like being cold. If I could keep my house at like, if I could afford to keep my house at like 60 degrees, I would do it 100%, like all day, every day. Hoodie, give me inside. I would like to be cold. I don't want to be sweating. I don't like that at all. But the only one place, so if I only could travel to one place ever again, I could be very vague and say a continent specifically, or I could be very specific and say, let's say a state or a country. I could get away with saying Africa because I feel like that would cover majority of all climates. I've been to Africa twice and very different experiences both times, very different climates both times. So I feel like it would cover a lot of bases, but also Africa's hot. So I don't know if I would do that. I want to say Alaska, maybe Canada. I'll go Canada. Our cold, beautiful sister to the north. I'll go with Canada, keep it vague. Specifically maybe Banff, Vancouver. Maybe like the west side of Canada. That would be nice. West to middle Canada. Toronto can just be there. I'll hit it when I hit it. Let's see. There are so many interesting things to say. Again, if you guys have questions, ask them in the comments. I will answer them. My most embarrassing vlogging moment. I actually haven't had an embarrassing vlogging moment. I don't get embarrassed very easily. I do get shaken with confidence when things out of my control happen and I can't, it just like if I'm in the zone and then something completely throws that off, I feel like I can't finish what I was doing and it just shuts off. So that's not really embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me that I react that way. But it's not like publicly embarrassing. I haven't really done anything like that. I was at Epcot a few years ago when I was first starting to vlog, and I actually didn't vlog that entire trip because of this situation. Someone we were with, I was vlogging and I was kind of walking in front of our group that we were with, and I was vlogging and like I was like so in the zone. I had it in my head like this and this is happening today. I'm going to like document this. And someone that we were with, like someone that knows me, came up behind me, like ran up and like he just started, when I'm talking to the camera, started just yelling and like waving their arms and like behind me. And I like turned around and I said, why would you do that? Like I have to reshoot. But that shook my confidence so bad that I didn't vlog the entire trip. That was like one of our first days there, and that I won't ever forget that. But also like it was not something that if a stranger did that, whatever, but like someone that I know, like that's what made it, I think, worse. Because if a stranger did that, I would just laugh it off and like do something else because they don't know me and I don't know them and like whatever. But like someone that I know did that to me, that's more, I guess, like not hurtful, but very like, why? But I mean, I haven't really done like something embarrassing, like drop my camera, knock on wood. I hope I never do that. Or like left something somewhere, or I don't know. I haven't really done like super embarrassing things. I am not easily embarrassed because I'll just like move on, but hey Chris, how are you? But that you can shake my confidence like that pretty easily, which is unfortunate and something I'm working on because we all need to better ourselves over time and we need to love ourselves and be confident in what we do. So, again, if you guys have any questions, ask them in the chat. I would love to answer them if you didn't get to ones on Instagram. Let me keep going through these. I'm trying to like double them up so it's not like the same question over and over again because some are kind of being answered the same way. Justine, sweet Justine, asked me what my biggest fears are. And that's a deep question for this Thursday. But I would see that's hard because I have anxiety already. So thinking about this would probably not go over well. I love Justine too. She's fantastic. She's asking the deep questions over here, Chris. My biggest fears, I think it's not being alone. Like I'm alone now. I go on trips alone. I prefer being alone. And unless I can be intentionally with someone else and not just like hanging out to hang out, but like have, like whenever Christina and I are together, we have meaningful, deep conversations. And like we've done that for close to, I don't know, 7-8 years. That seems like forever. But we have meaningful conversations, but like that doesn't, like I'm fine being by myself. Like being by myself doesn't scare me. I always end up at Christina's house really late and it's always on a weekday. And we both have to work the next day. So it's like, we're like waking up and we're so tired. Sup, Mike? I don't know what emoji that is. Are you flipping me off? That's inappropriate. I've never seen that emoji in my life. Guys, that's the thing. This is a family channel, Michael. And your wife is not moderating you. Is it waving? Dude, no, it's not. That is a flipping me off emoji. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, Mike. I know where you live. Mike, I'm not fancy like that. Yeah, Christina walks me out of her. See, Mike, you came in aggressive. People are saying you're flipping me off. Check yourself, man. Yeah, Christina will walk me out of her house. Where's your wife? She's supposed to be moderating this, or she's one of my moderators. She needs to block you. Don't dab in my live stream. We're adults. Like I keep doing this because I'm an old person and I can't see. Christina will walk me out of her house after we finish talking. And it's like midnight, and then we'll talk for another 2 hours in the driveway, or like in the parking lot for a partner. Like it's been like that for literally years. That's just how it happens. We just continue going. It's like her dog's like, "Can we like go inside? Are you done?" And her husband's like, "Are we done?" Jessica, you're not late. It's only been about 20 minutes. Welcome, friend. So glad you're here. So glad everyone's here. This is so fun. Again, if you guys have any questions, now that the new people have come in, please ask them in the chat. I have some from Instagram that I have been answering, but we're live. Let's do it. You got this is the name of the emoji. Maybe it's like an odd this. That, I guess it could be a thumbs up. That is, they need to fix it because that's aggressive. If it's interesting. Well, now we know. I don't know. Tell me what your everyone. Now that Justine asked me what my biggest fears are, tell me what your biggest fears are. While I think about what mine is, because I don't know. I mean, I guess I could say like losing people that I care about is one of my biggest fears. But that has nothing to do with me being alone. With like it just being without them is a scary thought. Crocodiles. That seems very unlikely that you would come across a crocodile in life. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I think everyone's biggest fear is being without those that they care about the most. And I mean, loneliness is also they get scared easily of being alone. And I think like being alone, dying alone, not having like doing all that stuff it is scary, but it's just like a thing that you accept or not, I guess. Failure is a big one. Because as Christina can probably attest to this, I have tried and given up before I've failed on many of things. Many ventures of self-starting situations. And I gave up because I thought I would fail and I wasn't good enough, and that's self-doubt. Or I've like succeeded for a while and then be like, nah, I'm okay. Or like, it can't get any better than this. So I just give up and I don't like push for a next step or find a new twist to what I've done to make it sustainable or, something like that. Like failure is huge. I don't want to fail. I don't want to let anyone down, myself down or other people. And being an only child, I would like, as a goal, going back to one of the other questions, I would like to support my mom and not have to have her work. And I would like that to be a thing that exists. So failure is one that I have felt my whole life, but that I, have kind of put on the back burner to other things of, I don't want to lose this person, so I'll just do whatever I can, regardless of if it's a risk or not. So failure is a big one. Also, for those who are just joining us, I downed Chick-fil-A before I came up here to talk. So I'm still drinking my drink. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get I can get super philosophical on this, but to keep it brief, fear is a lie. So being scared. Mike, they have Chick-fil-A's in Florida, right? I think. Being scared is a lie. If you believe in God, fear is a lie that the devil tells you. So God in the Bible, not to get super preachy, but God in the Bible tells you to not be afraid, literally over 300 times. So there's a reason for that. And obviously you can get in your own head, especially if you have anxiety and things like that, and telling yourself that this is going to happen. This is this fear overtakes your brain. But it's not, it's just lies being fed to you from the enemy, if you wanted to get it that way. But fears are not real. It's a lie. So you just have to be firm in your confidence and firm in your faith of how to go about life and to not be afraid. But I mean, obviously that still things come across as fears, like being alone or failure or losing the ones we love. Those are, but it's, not losing them, it's being without them. And that is a scary thought. Right. Worrying takes away time. Thanks, Chris. Have a good night. Glad you were here. Yeah, worrying ages you, negativity ages you. I've seen that firsthand with someone I work with. And I wouldn't. It is time consuming. It takes more time to worry about something and to overthink than to just go with it and accept what's happening. Obviously, that's just, not how life goes sometimes and not how your brain works. And that's totally fine because my brain doesn't work like that. I overthink constantly and I overanalyze and everything about it is time consuming. I take time away from thinking about other things or doing other things because I am worried or nervous or anxious about something or trying to plan something out that I cannot control and trying to stay in control, which is a situation. But that's like a thing that, doesn't help in life. Worrying doesn't help. Obviously, you can't just stop worrying and be done. I wish you could. But yeah, it's time consuming and not worth your time. But to get back on a fun note, because that was heavy a little bit. Does anyone have any questions about travel or about content creation or even about how to work your camera? Or your phone camera, how to take better photos with your phone. Any tips on that? Or I can answer all of those things. And I would love to because I like helping people with that. Because I think it's fun. It's fun teaching people how to use a camera, how to up their game in photography or video, or where they should go to travel and what food they should eat. Or if you have a question about something more specific that you have seen on my channel, whether it's Disney or Florida or Hawaii or anything, let me know. I would love to chat about that. I am very thirsty. So many fun things. Also, I did want to point out that this is a thing that I am so glad that I started doing was a monthly live stream, because I think that I can connect with you guys way better and have an actual conversation with you. I really enjoy that. And I enjoy the live aspect of being with you guys and to see all of your lovely words. And I wish we could all just be in one big room together and just talk. When are you coming back to Alaska? Good question, Jessica. Good question. I don't know, actually. I have some tentative dates on the calendar, but it's not to Anchorage. I do have a cruise I'm looking at for next year, next summer, early summer, before it gets like crazy hot. Not that it gets hot in Alaska, but like before it gets crazy expensive to go on a cruise in the summer in Alaska, because summer is, I think Alaska's beautiful all the time, all year round. But most people think the summer is the best time because it's so clear, not so foggy. I enjoy the fog. I think it gives everything a beautiful like texture. I think that that's a thing. But Jessica, I hope soon. I miss Alaska. I miss Anchorage. I miss people. Hopefully when I'm in Anchorage next, I can meet up with you guys and we can have a dinner. That'll be lovely. Meet your puppy. That'll be fun. And Alaska's like, I will never stop going to Alaska or telling people to go to Alaska, whether that's on a cruise or to go to Anchorage or to do an RV trip or to do the land tour on top of their cruise. Like I will never stop recommending Alaska. Jessica. When I hit up Anchorage, we'll have a chat. Yeah, Alaska is somewhere that I think there's nowhere else like Alaska in the world. Period. And it's so diverse, so beautiful. The wildlife alone, but like as a foodie, it was insane to like go to Anchorage and get food that I can't get here. I live in Charlotte, one of the biggest cities in the country, and I can't get good Mexican food. Why? But I can get the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life in Anchorage, Alaska. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Tell me, someone. It doesn't make sense. It's mind-blowing. Serrano's in Alaska, Jessica. Best Mexican food. Handmade tortillas every single day. Corn, Mike. You're welcome. Beautiful carnitas. The refried beans are cooked in fat correctly. Golly. I mean, there's a place in Anchorage that literally grinds up filet mignon and makes burgers out of it. Unnecessary. Do they do it? 100%. Was it the best burger I've ever had in my life? 100%. So I'm like, why can't I get that here in one of the biggest cities in the country? I'm very confused. It makes me angry. We have a lot of barbecue restaurants. We have a lot of fusion restaurants, but nothing that's like, we also don't have really good Italian food. Like options. Mama Ricotta's is the best Italian food in Charlotte, hands down, no question. Lil Mama's a second. They're owned by the same people. So it's not like a competition. It's the same. One's just in a different area and it has a different menu. It's still Italian versus Italian. Jessica, yes. I like Ethiopian food. I like Indian food. I love eating with my hands and using, Mike maybe can help me. The bread, it's not naan. Naan is Indian, but like it's like a naan in Ethiopian food, or more like a crepe. Like a crepe, and you just, God, Ethiopian food. Little Los Angeles has an area, which I don't really want to go to Los Angeles, but I do want to for the food. It's like a love-hate relationship. But in Los Angeles, they have like a neighborhood like Chinatown normally. They also have a Chinatown, but it's way thinner than naan. It's like almost like a crepe, but it's savory and it's a lot of bubbly. I can't remember what it's called, but you use it as your utensils. Los Angeles has Little Ethiopia, which I think is dope. So I think that would be really fun to do like a time there. It is spongy. I feel like I can't. And also, Christina, I don't recall when Christina and I went to Africa together. I don't know why I'm doing this. She's in the chat. Injera. I feel like that's pronounced correctly. Injera. The food we had in Burundi, I don't think was like real Burundian food. Because, we ate at Jesse and Joy's house and they kind of Americanized everything for us. I think the only Burundian food we had was when we went out that one night and we had goat and it was not cooked well. And I think I gave it to the person who was sitting next to me because they were eating it. Right? I don't think we really had like African food. And in South Africa, everything is Americanized, or Westernized, I guess, is a better way to put that. In South Africa, they don't really have, they do have African food, obviously, but like not where I was. Yeah, we chewed. So it was goat kebabs. And I feel like it was like served with vegetables or like a potato. Like, I think it was, they were trying to do, I can't remember. I just remember the goat. I can probably go back and find photos of it on my computer, but yeah. Okay. When we went to, I don't think I went. I think I was doing a film. I think I was filming because I stayed back most days to film. And the only I only went to Jean Marie's house, and we didn't have food there. We just had Cokes and peanuts. So I missed out, I guess, on the actual Burundian food. Mike, so yes, we went to this restaurant. It was like on a pier. I felt like I was going to fall in the ocean with the hippos, and that was terrifying. Hippos are not cute. I want to point that out. Hippos are not cute. They're deadly and terrifying. That's my stance on hippos. I like rhinos better. If you want something big and fluffy, like a hippo, pick a rhino. Rhinos don't really kill people. Hippos do. Okay? Like, the horn's the best. Yeah, it was like a pier on stilts. The restaurant was at the end. Like, you just literally felt like you were gonna fall off. And they brought us, like, this is like a restaurant. They would cook and they would bring you food out on the pier. And they gave us we didn't order, they just brought us food. And it was goat kebabs, big chunks of goat. I never had goat before, and I never will have goat again. Because goats, if you looked at a goat, right, and you look at a cow, you're like, oh, a cow. Beautiful, meaty animal, fatty, lots of flavor and fat. And goats are not that. Goats are very lean animals. And not only did they serve you kebab of goat, it was overcooked because it's just what it is. So I don't think anyone in our group finished the goat, which was fine with the people we were with because they finished it off for us. But yeah, it was whole chunks of goat. Goats are trash cans with hooves. Correct. Sharks are trash cans with no hooves, with fins. Which is why also don't eat shark, guys. Sharks are endangered. Shark fin soup is a no-no. Okay? Don't do that. Love our ocean animals. Goats are trash cans. It's disgusting. Like, where's that? Is that like a place in Animal Kingdom where you can like pet goats? I don't go there. Mike, did you eat just the fin though? Like, we have, like, if a shark is cooked, it needs to like be lifted out of the ocean and used completely. Don't just chop fins off and throw the shark back in the ocean because it can't live anymore. You know what I mean? That's a thing that they do in Asia. Look it up. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I don't eat fish, period, so that's not a thing for me. But yeah, the goat was a no-no. Jessica, so basically Alaska. Okay, Mike, then that's fine. I approve. Not that you needed that, but yeah, that's fine. The question, I think Mike asked this. When are you going to cook a dish inspired by your Hawaii travels? I really do want to try and cook musubi, which is like the easiest dish you can probably make. Goat does probably need to be braised or ground up, but also I'm not going to try to do that. I don't want to. I can eat other animals that are delicious. I don't need a goat. But goat's all they have. So like it was totally fine. And we ate fine. We weren't hungry. So the dish I would probably make from Hawaii is musubi. I've never had lamb, Mike. I know that's disappointing to hear, but I constantly disappoint you anyway, so add it to the list. I would probably make musubi because it's easiest. It's sushi rice, marinated Spam. It has furikake. Is that how you pronounce that seasoning? I'm so bad at that. And it's all like strewn together with like just one little teeny wrap of seaweed. But I guess you don't have to do the seaweed because sushi rice is sticky, so it can kind of hold it together. That'll probably be the easiest. And even though Spam, some people think is disgusting, I enjoyed it. I don't like Spam like straight out the can, but this is not that. It's marinated Spam and kind of like, I would probably elevate it more and sear it even, make it like a crispy fried bologna kind of thing. That's what, I mean, I'm Southern, so I grew up in the South eating fried bologna sandwiches. Mike, I was just kidding. We're the same. So if you're disappointed in me, you're disappointed in yourself. Yeah, Masubi would be easy, but I don't know if I want to do a cooking video on my channel. Mike, think about that. You know what I mean? If you're disappointed in me, you're disappointed in you. I don't know if I want to do cooking on my channel anymore because it's literally been so long. That maybe I'll do like an Instagram for it. I think that would be interesting. I wonder if I could do like a keto version of Masubi. It would not be good because I don't like cauliflower rice. Mike, that's very nice. Okay, I'm going to do a poll here and on Instagram and places. Cooking videos. Yes? No? Were any of you around for my cooking ventures? Christina, that's my friend Amanda's husband, Mike. I'm assuming Amanda's in the tub or she's asleep. Or she's with JP asleep. That's her 3 states usually. I do enjoy being in the kitchen, but I don't know how to incorporate that into called it. I know her because I'm you, Mike. I'm just kidding. Maybe like a monthly cooking thing, like maybe once a month, like on a Sunday, I'll throw in a cooking video. I don't know. We'll feel it out. And also, like, I just don't know how to incorporate that into being like on a diet. Because I would like to do foods that are inspired by my travels, but I don't want to keto-fy them because I don't think it would be relatable to everyone. Because keto is not relatable to everyone. So I'd have to figure out a balance on that. I do enjoy being in the kitchen, and I think I am talented. Not to toot my own horn. I do know my way around the kitchen. Not as good as Mike. I don't have a degree. Mike, just text me. We'll talk about it. Talk about a schedule. I mean, I honestly I do like cooking, and I do think food is the language of the world. So I think that if you sit down at someone's table, this is my philosophy on food, if we're going to get into this. I watched MasterChef last night. So it's my favorite reality show. I think that when you go into someone's home or to someone's city that they live in, you visit a friend or you visit a friend at home and they cook you a meal, not only are they showing you a skill that they have, that they could put together this dish to literally nourish your body, but they're also like putting thought. And like growing up, my grandmother on my dad's side she lived in a trailer. She was very poor, but you would never think that eating her food because it was so rich in flavors, so rich in just being put together thoughtfully. Like it was Southern, like home cooking food, chicken and dumplings, like cornbread, fried chicken, like all this stuff, banana pudding. Like she made this stuff, but if she would have brought this to a place that was like a potluck, you would never look at her and think, oh, this person she could be a chef. Like you would never think that. But she it wasn't like attractive food, but the flavors and the profiles, everything together are tastes that I cannot duplicate. I have tried, everyone has tried in my family to do so, and we can't do it. it's impossible. So it's something special when someone invites you into their home and makes you a meal, even if it's from a recipe book, because they put thought into that moment, they put love into that moment, and I think anyone can cook. I don't think everyone is fantastic at it, but I think everyone has the ability to play in the kitchen and to learn something and to present something that is from love. Like when you are a kid and you make a mud pie for your mom, like obviously it's not edible, but you made it with love, so she loves it. So like it's a whole thing that like when you go into a different city or a different country or a different state and you eat local, there's something special about that. And because you're tasting where you are. Because I could go to going to Africa, obviously, like they don't eat the food that we eat. Do they attempt to make the food that we eat? Sure. Do they have McDonald's? But like when you at this school, they had teachers, and obviously it's a school, but we weren't there for them. We were there for the kids and for another project. But like they saw us, they loved us, and they brought us into their home. Their family cooked a meal. Oh, Christina, one of those first nights that we were there, it was under that tent and there was like 40 people there and they had been working all week. Now I remember if that's what you're talking about. And they like, everyone was like sharing their story and stuff like that. Like that I remember now. And they had like, the community had come together to make this meal specifically for us, which was so special. I don't even remember what the food was, but the memory of that is the moment and the people that I was with, not the food itself, because of how much. Okay, I was there for that. That was one of the first days we were there. But like when someone takes the time they literally did work all week to make this meal for us, and it wasn't anything fancy. It was just they had to put all their effort in as a community. Yeah, and it was like it's such an odd, like for me, knowing how much I like to cook, and Mike can probably relate to this too. When I cook something for someone, I want them, like I don't want to eat, like I want to watch them eat what I make. Because I think that gives me joy, not like making a good dish gives me joy. Like I want to watch them react to my food. That's what gives me joy, is watching them be like, oh, this is good. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's good. Because I can say it's good all day, but if someone else doesn't think that, I'm like, screw it. I need to fix it. It's bad. Yeah, and like I like to host people, and I like to cook for people. So like when we have potlucks at work, when we have things that we need to bring to holidays, I like to cook and to do that. We have Friendsgiving, even though we go out normally for Friendsgiving the past couple of years because children, and it's too much work to cook. But like I enjoy, like if I had to, actually I plan on this, when I buy a home, I will be cooking Thanksgiving dinner in its entirety. No one can bring anything. They're not allowed. I will be cooking it all. And that's a thing because I want to serve other people. I think that's one of the best parts about cooking is serving other people something you make because you've worked so hard at it, and having that like gratification watching them consume it is unlike anything else, which I enjoy. And I think it's the same when you eat at a restaurant and a waiter or the chef comes out and asks you how everything is. Like tell them what you think, like be honest and like let them know. And if you have a fantastic meal at a restaurant, like a sit down restaurant, ask to speak to the chef. Let them know if they don't have the time to come out. If it's super busy, don't do that. But like if you are at a restaurant and you're kind of like closing it down a little bit, ask to speak to the chef. Give them compliments, even if it's the sous. who's there at the moment, like whoever is cooking or running that kitchen, they need to know their staff and their crew did a good job and that you were like completely satisfied. And yes, your waiter gets a tip, but having that interaction with the people that actually made your food is super impactful to them, because that's why they're actually there to begin with, is to cook you food that you enjoy, and to make a menu that pleases a palate of majority of people, and to present beautiful food and to taste beautiful food. So like, if you haven't ever, no, I'll tell that story real quick because I only have 10 minutes. I'm going to keep it brief. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've had a lot of fun talking about this, and it's given me a lot to think about with food. So I got a lot of things in December. If you haven't watched my Wave video, The Wave, my favorite restaurant at Disney, is on my channel. Look it up. It's fantastic. The pastry chef, the lead pastry chef at the Contemporary Resort at Disney World is named Jeff Barnes, and he is a fantastic human being. He's so nice and he's so kind. But I met him 3 years ago. So normally at Disney during the holidays, they do a presentation of gingerbread houses at the deluxe resorts. So like Contemporary has one, Grand Floridian has the biggest one. Amanda already told me that she's getting the pork tenderloin with the Gouda cheese grits, and like I don't think you understand like the flavors of that. The coffee barbecue sauce, no, like unmatched. And they ask you how you want your pork cooked. Like, thank you. Pork is not one and done. Pork is like steak. You cook it. You cook it to a temperature. Thank you. So 3 years ago, medium is correct. And they will do that at the Wave. The gingerbread house at the Contemporary is my favorite resort. And they had the big display, but when we were there doing like our resort crawl to get to look at all the gingerbread houses and the decorations at the deluxe resorts, Chef Jeff was out signing pins because he and his team have created this masterpiece over the year. Well, multiple years, but he's in charge of that whole thing. And he makes all the desserts, not himself, but he makes the menu and the like testing for the entire resort, which I think the Contemporary has some of the best food as a resort. The Contempo Cafe is highly underrated when it comes to food. And obviously California Grill is one of the best restaurants on property. Excuse me. I have a tickle. And the Wave, I think, is my favorite restaurant on property because it's hands down delicious. So we were, and I told him, I said, hey, I do a lot of cooking at home. I technically can't call myself a chef. I didn't go to culinary school. But I like really enjoy being a home cook. I, attempt, and I'm learning and growing every day. And I like to do this, and this is what I like to do. So he and I talked for like 20 minutes, and we were just like holding up a line, and people trying to like meet him and get their pin signed or whatever. But he took the time to talk to me, and it was so nice. And we were talking about food and reservations and stuff like that. So he gave me his card because I told him I couldn't get a reservation at brunch for California Grill. So he told me to email him when I was coming down next, and that he would take care of me, which that's the Disney magic anyway. And, it is what it is. And that was in December of 2018. That sounds right. And 2019. When was it? Maybe it was 2019. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Technically, Mike, don't you like, don't you have to, if I were to be in a kitchen and someone said, yes, chef to me, that would be incorrect. If I had a kitchen to say yes, chef in. Anyways, I don't know. I could be wrong. I just call myself a home cook. I'll take chef though, if that's a thing. But so anyways, long story short, Jeff gave me his card. We like emailed back and forth, and then he got me a reservation for dinner at California Grill in March the following year. And then it was just back and forth, and he lost half his team at the Contemporary during the shutdown of Disney, and we came in. So then he had given me a reservation for a September trip for brunch before the pandemic. And obviously California Grill at the time of talking to you still doesn't have brunch. It's not back, which is unfortunate. But then so he said, let me make it up to you. And so I told him that me and some friends would be in the area or be at Disney in December. And there's like 8 of us. So can we get dinner for 8 of us? And he emailed in, like, the manager of California Grill is fantastic. And we went there. So at the time, they put like confetti on our table, like celebratory. They brought out like on the house, amuse bouche, like kind of situation. And our service is always so nice at Disney. I've never really had a bad experience service wise. I've had excellent service, and then I've had like good service, like you should standard. I've never had bad service. So that was the whole thing. And then I get an email that night, and even though the dinner was fantastic and the company was great, I got an email that morning when I woke up the next day from Chef Jeff that was apologizing because he had made this beautiful sugar sculpture for our table. And it was like, I would say 1.5 feet tall. It was like, I would show you the picture, but he told me that I can't put it on the internet because it's backstage. And anyways, he said, I also made you these chocolates, like handmade you these chocolates. Can you come get them? Are you still in the area? Can you come get them? Stop by the Contemporary. I'll be here. I need to give you this. This is like crazy. So I'm going to see if I can find the picture while I'm telling the story. So he did like, okay. I need to take the background out of this. So hold on. But like the Disney magic was this. So I came by the Contemporary. Like I told him I'll be there at 11. And I was meeting up with Mike and Amanda, actually. This is the first day we met them in person, even though I had talked to them 100 million times. The thing is, when you meet up with a chef, you have to like think about not what you're going to say, but like if something is like what you talk about to a chef, because if you don't know like what to say, you don't know what to say. Okay. So I'm going to show you this thing that he sent me. I took out the background so you can see this. So he met up with me, and I see him walking down the steps, or he came off the elevator, like backstage into the Contemporary. I met him at the outer rim, and he had a stack of boxes. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what? So he comes up to me, like we talk for a good, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. He's telling me about what happened during the pandemic, and, he's hoping to get everyone back. And he told me Chef Mickey's was opening, and it was like this whole thing about being optimistic and having these moments in the kitchen with his people back. So that was really fun. So he made me these chef hat. I went live in the parking lot of the Contemporary with these hats, these chef hat chocolates, which I will show you in a second. And he made me a whole box of them, like handmade me these gorgeous chocolates. And it was like Lindor, those like balls with the like almost like ganache inside. It was like that, but because they're handmade and fresh, fantastic, so good. And I want to point out to you that I'm showing you this through a phone, and I didn't see this in person, but this is the Disney magic on top of being a kind person and having the thought enough to make this, even though it didn't get delivered to us, which would have been, I think I would have cried right then. But he made me this, And it says, welcome, MacKenzie. So this is all sugar, right? And it's like at least 1.5 feet tall. These are little chef hats because he remembers that I like Remy and I like to cook. Like he remembered this from a year previous of talking. And it like, I don't understand, number one, how this is a thing. And number two, like he thought to, it's so bright. There we go. He thought to make this for me to be delivered, like to my table. This was left and it just didn't get the memo for our waiter to come out, which was, it's sad. But so then I had this thing, that thing happened to me, which is fantastic. And he told me while we were talking, bringing me the chocolates that he could bring me. He said, you have to go to the Wave. I eat lunch there every day. So I was like, oh, well, if Chef Jeff eats there every day, I gotta go. So funny enough, we went to Disney Springs that night to eat an Earl of Sandwich. It was insanely packed. It was in December. So like I felt very uncomfortable with that many people, situation, like masks and tight quarters and stuff like that. So we were supposed to come back to go to Boathouse actually the next night. And I said, nope, I'm not doing Disney Springs right now. Again, like I can't with everything that was happening. So I said, well, let's see if the Wave has an opening. And they did, funny, like the same time our Boathouse reservation was. So I canceled, made that reservation. And it was amazing. Our server was fantastic. He was so fun, so nice, so knowledgeable. And then if you haven't seen my video, we went to the Wave. I had the pork tenderloin with the Gouda cheese grits, which cheese grits are one of my favorite things if they're done correctly. And they are. And then I get brought out. All of a sudden, the chef comes out. Not Chef Jeff, the chef for the Wave comes out. And he brings me, with our server and the manager of the restaurant, this plate of chocolate. And there's my happy face. Again, Chef Jeff left me this again. Have a magical evening, MacKenzie. And he left me this cute, like, Remy made of chocolate with the spaghetti and the cheese. And then he handmade me the chocolates on the outside. And I'm just like, what is happening? And that's like, when you, again, what? So that was like one of the best moments I've ever had at Disney or in life, period. But the chef and I talked for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, and he probably shouldn't have done that. But everyone was so nice there. And like, when you put like the thoughtfulness of this, regardless of Disney or not, you didn't have to do that. The sugar sculpture, the reservation in general, like when you make food as an art form, it doesn't matter what you think about it. It matters what your person you are making it for, like, thinks about it. So when Chef Jeff told me, like, he was disappointed that I didn't get that at my table because he had come in the morning at 4:00 because that's when he goes to work, pastry chefs. And he saw it still in the freezer or the cooler or whatever. He's like, what? And he took a picture of it before he put it in the cooler because he was so proud of it. And I'm so glad he did, because then he, airdropped it to me. And so I have that, and I have that experience, and I have the thoughtfulness behind that. And I remember what I ate because like of these moments of these people putting art and putting thoughtfulness and putting moments into their food that are for other people. They're not for you. Like, they're not for the person creating it. They're for the person consuming it. And that's why I think that I want food to be a part of my channel somehow. And I thought that would be with restaurants eating locally, but maybe it's not. So maybe it's cooking in the kitchen and honing those skills and getting inspired from travels on top of doing food tours and whatnot from the travels that I do. So I so appreciate you guys coming, because this has been such a fun chat. And if you're watching later on the replay, hi, I'm glad you're here and watching on the replay. I wish you the best. And I hope to see you next time live in the chat, because we have a good time. But it is 10 p.m. over here on the East Coast. Well, 10:05. And I'm getting sweaty with this ring light in here, and I have work tomorrow. So I'm actually going to go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it because I really, really like doing these live streams. I think it's really fun to just hang out with you guys and to talk about whatever. So I will do this again next month. I don't have the date solidified yet, but when I do, I will put it, like I will schedule it like I normally do, put it on social media. And if you guys want a topic specifically for next time, put it, like leave it in the comments, DM me on Instagram, do whatever to get me that moment. Here for a moment, I'm leaving. You are here, technically here for a moment. That's funny. I have to pop my hip. I'm an old person, as we talked about earlier. And I'm so glad that you guys are here and that you're a part of this journey with me because it's been so fun so far. And I can't wait to keep going and to see, thanks. I'm assuming this is Benji talking. But if not, Benji, Teeny, hi. I thank you for watching my Hawaii vlogs. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun making them. One more coming out. The Oahu food tour is coming out next week. And I'm actually going to pivot, Ross, into some home renovation vlogs because I'm not traveling at the moment, but because we are doing a ton of stuff at home. We've had this house for 20 years almost, and it's looked the same since then. So we are revamping our living room, our dining room. We're like literally redoing the cabinets. We redid the floors. We ripped the island out. We did a bunch of stuff. We are painting. I'm redoing my bedroom. I'm redoing my bathroom. I'm redoing the powder room. We're, ripping stuff off the walls, patching a lot of stuff. So I think that'll be fun to do decorating because that's also one of my underlying passions that I like is decorating and interior design. I really do enjoy that moment. So those are going to be coming up soon. I don't know how many I'll do, but we have a lot to cover in the house. So maybe I'll just do like particular ones. And also this is all on a budget. We like to keep it simple and classy here. Home Goods, IKEA, we like to class it up and do a lot of things ourselves. So we're revamping our entire kitchen, my bedroom, framing a lot of photos from travels and things like that and putting them in displays around the home. So that's going to be coming up soon. And then St. Augustine's coming up, so stay tuned for that. And that was like a short thing. I did a Buc-ee's video, but if you want to see a Buc-ee's video right now, Buc-ee's is a gas station in Florida and Texas. But if you want to see a Buc-ee's video right now, you can go to the Hydeland Adventures, HYDE, the Hydeland Adventures, for a Buc-ee's video. Mine's coming out in a couple weeks, 2 weeks maybe. And after the St. Augustine vlogs. And then we have a lot of day trips planned. Super pumped about that. Around here in the Carolinas, a lot of mountain stuff because it's pretty easy to get to the mountain area, Asheville, Brevard, waterfalls, stuff like that. So we're going to hit it up in the summer when people are going to the beach. Maybe it'll be less crowded at the mountains because it's a thing in North Carolina to go in the mountains in the fall and the winter, go to the beach in the summer. Hopefully you guys enjoy that, and hopefully I enjoy discovering parts of my own backyard that I didn't know existed or I forgot. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me for this lovely live stream, talking about food, talking about travel. So excited for what's to come. And next month I'll do another live stream. Hopefully keep doing them every month. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. Live streams get thumbs up too, and it helps the algorithm, the ever so non-existent algorithm. This literally just on YouTube and nowhere else. I am so thankful for you guys. So until then, I'll see you later and be beautiful humans. Bye, guys.